American farmers are bracing for some big changes under President Trump's new immigration policy. They don't know what the future workforce could look like in an industry that relies very heavily on this migrant labor. Nearly half of America's farm workers, half, are thought to be undocumented. Nancy Chen spoke with some of those farmers to find out how it could become even more difficult for them to stay in business.
It takes a lot of hands to hand harvest fruits and vegetables.
Talk to any farmer and they'll tell you it's difficult work.
Yeah. This is a 24-hour job. So I need people who are willing to work in shifts at different times of the day.
But it's hard to find those people.
Yeah.
American farms are on the decline. There was a 7% drop in farms from 2017 to 2022, according to the USDA. That's about 142,000 fewer farms in just 5 years. These days, farmers are up against bird flu outbreaks, higher costs for feed and fertilizer, and climate change. But their livelihoods depend on a reliable workforce. And now they're concerned about how President Trump's campaign promise to launch the largest deportation effort in American history will play out. Immigration taking center stage from day one.
First, I will declare a national emergency at our southern border.
About 2/3 of crop workers are foreign-born. And while many come to the U.S. for seasonal jobs legally through H-2A visas, the USDA estimates that 42% of crop laborers are undocumented. New Jersey farmer Kurt Alstead says his workers are all legally authorized, but he's watching closely to see what Trump does next.
When we talk about the ripple effects of a potential mass deportation, labor is already hard enough to find as is. Could it be even more difficult to find across the board if that does happen?
Well, there's no question in the United States we have a shrinking workforce. Anything that happens from a policy standpoint that reduces people in our workforce is going to make it very difficult for industry, and certainly for agriculture. We would be in big trouble if we lost workforce.
The labor union, United Farm Workers, has already seen an uptick in migrants asking for help.
The threats are scary, but at the same time, farm workers more than anyone understand the reality that without them, this work is not going to get done.
And fewer workers could mean less homegrown produce, according to University of Montana economist Diane Charlton.
But will consumers see higher prices if there are these mass deportations?
Maybe to a certain extent, consumers might not see a really big impact in the grocery stores, but there will be less domestically grown fruits and vegetables.
Does that mean more farms could go belly up?
Definitely.
Nate Chittenden, a third-generation New York dairy farmer, says his industry needs change.
We all want safe, affordable food in this country. We all realize that people that work hard deserve a chance to improve their lives. We have to figure out what we can do to make that happen without breaking the system.
It's still unclear exactly how Trump's mass deportation plan would affect farm workers, but we reached out to the Trump team, which repeated the president's commitment to deporting migrant criminals. That said, just another worry to add for these farmers who already have so much to deal with.
It's a really interesting report. And, the reality of immigration is it does create more competition for jobs. That's why some people on the left also want restrictions.
Sure.
But I'm curious, these jobs on the farms, are there Americans who would take them?
The farmer that we talked to in New Jersey said that he had not had a local applicant in 20 years. These are jobs that people
20 years.
Yes.
Wow.
And that's why he's reaching out to the H-2A visa programs.
Because that's part of the argument, Tony. People say, well, they're taking jobs from Americans who need jobs, but listening to that in this industry, that doesn't appear the case.